Hello there, my lovelies. So I thought we'd do a bit of a haul today. Mostly yarn, but a couple other things as well, some accessory stuff and some other fibres, because I've been accumulating a few things recently and I thought I would just share it. Also because I have been kind of saving it to share it in this video and I really want to start using some of it, so let's just get into it. Now most of the yarn is going to be from Hobby. I do love pretty much everything I've tried from there and they have so much stuff. And then basically there's also going to be some stuff from my mum's house because I went shopping at my mum's house when I was there last time, home visiting for Christmas, because she's trying to kind of clear out a little bit in her craft corner. So there's a previous video with that if you want to check that out if you haven't already. But otherwise, let's just get right into it. So most of it having bags and boxes down here and a little bit up here in my desk. So if you see me die down, that's because I'm getting some more yarn out or other things. So just the first one here. This was just a quick one because I literally needed it. I'm currently also working on a video, and obviously just in general, trying to finish off some of my whips. And one of them is a giraffe that I've been working on, well, for a long time because I didn't finish it. But basically I just need to finish off adding the spots to the giraffe. And I did most of them, and then I ran out of the yarn I was using for it. Also what I thought. Turns out I did have it still. Like I thought originally I did, but I just couldn't find it. I found it in the meantime, but anyway, that was too late by then. So I did order one of the balls that I thought I needed to finish off a current whip. Well, it's no longer a whip because I have finished it now, but I do love the Honey Bunny from Hobby. I do love all their chenille ones, honestly. I think they're all great, but if I have to choose a favorite, it is probably the Honey Bunny. But this is like a medium brown color, so obviously the spots of the giraffe. So that was just the first one, and I guess it was kind of that one that led on to the rest of this particular order. So let's just do that one first. Now they were also having some sales on, so that might have contributed a little bit. Anyway, I also got some Universe, both Universe XL and the regular Universe. So these are the two that I got. These beautiful colorways. Obviously the purple is just gorgeous. This is the Universe one, so this is slightly thinner, and then this is a little bit thicker, Universe XL of course. Again, this is giving me very like spring summery vibes from the colors. I really love that. So both of them I already had a couple of each, but basically I recently actually used the Universe XL to make like a hooded scarf, and I really liked working with it and the result, and I really just wanted to basically start making a cardigan with this yarn in obviously whatever colorway. And I do have more of it. I just feel like I don't have enough to make something like a cardigan. So I basically just wanted to get some more of the colors I already have because I really like them. And so maybe start adding up a bit of a collection, enough to make a cardigan at some point in the near future. So yeah, I got 6 of the purple colorway. I already have a few, like I said. And I think I just because, well, I used the Universe XL to make the hooded scarf. I think I really like the idea of doing the cardigan with the thinner one, just to get it even more flowy and lightweight. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of planning to do with that. Also for a lot of the stuff, I do have plans for a lot of it, not all of it, but some of the yarn I do have actual plans for, and it's kind of reserved for that. So that's the beautiful Universe XL. I really love that yarn. Then I also got another ribbon, Friends ribbon, and of course a purple colour. Very beautiful, deep, kind of medium to dark purple, I would say. And again, I already had one of these because I got in a previous, I think it was actually when I went to the shop in no, not in Copenhagen, in Roskilde in Denmark. Got one of these, and I thought I would just get another one just because when I go to use it, I was just a bit unsure if there would be enough in just one. If I wanted, I think I want to make like a basket or a bag, especially because recently I made a basket with bases that we made ourselves. Let me just show you. I finished that. So this is the base. This is quite a big one. This is the basket I ended up making. I really love how it turned out. This yarn, this is from somewhere else, but something like this I'm thinking I want to try and use it for. Possibly, or something like a bag. And I would just be worried that if I start doing that I wouldn't have enough in what I had already. So I just got an extra one. I don't remember if I got one or two, but there's one here. So of course purple. So again, there's kind of a plan with that. Next I got these multicolored acacia print. Acacia, I'm not sure how it's pronounced. It is 51% acrylic and 49% cotton, so it's a mix. I want to say it's kind of close to like a DK weight, but I really like the colorway. I think they were an offer or something and I saw them, I'm like, oh, I like the look of them. I haven't tried it before, so I'll get a couple and see about trying to use them and see how I like it. I think it feels nice. I like the colorway, kind of pastel-y rainbow, but at the same time not completely to typical pastel. It's a little bit different, so yeah, I actually really like them, and you do get quite a bit in there, you can tell. And staying in that realm of multicolored yarn, I got some different of their Friends cotton, and these particular ones I'm going to show you now are the print versions, so the multicolored versions. So to give you the backstory, I have been working on something for probably over a year. My own pattern, I was going to say patterns. It's one thing, but there's multiple different variations of it. So basically it's coasters, but with different designs. So I'm not sure I have all of them here. No, I don't by the looks of it. But I can show you the idea of it. So they're kind of a basic coaster, but they have like a decorative edge. Right, so I think the first one I made was this one. So the regular coaster, where around the whole edge is then decorated with a design. I am thinking I'm going to end up blocking them, maybe stiffening them with some kind of stiffening spray. I haven't got to that point yet because I kind of feel like I might as well finish making all of them. I have even more downstairs, and I've also made big ones that you can use with pots and pans and plates and stuff like that. That's with different yarn, but these are just kind of the ones using the Friends cotton from Hobby. And then I discovered that they have the print version of that yarn, so multicolored, and I was like, oh, that's giving me ideas. So instead of just doing where it's like one colored all the way along, so obviously that was a heart one I just showed you, then I made the star one, I've made flower ones, and there's also a butterfly one which I think I don't have here. I've made leaf ones which I have here, but what I then started getting the idea to do was to make the inner base one color, for instance black, and then make the outer decorative edge there a separate color. So I started doing that with some of them. So here for instance are leaves. You can see I want to kind of just straighten the edges out a bit, so the decorative edge, which I can try and do with blocking, or also like I said, possibly like stiffening spray or something like that. So that's the leaf one. Again, another heart one where I made the outer edge a different color, but I actually alternated between two colors on this one. And I've also made other versions. This one actually has 3 different colors on the outer edge, which I really like how this turned out. So this is the flowers one. I also made a stars one where the inner part is one color and the outer edge is a different color, in this case yellow. I thought that would be quite a nice effect, like a night sky with stars. Anyway, all that to say, oh, I just forgot that one. That's also a leaf one, but actually where I use one of these yarns, so you can see the multicolored and the green, I think it gives a really nice effect. So that's the whole point. That's what I want to use these particular ones for, is basically make more variations of those coasters. So these are meant to be where the inner base is one color, probably mostly black, and then the outer edge is just one of these multicolored ones. So show you the variations I got. First of all, let's start with multicolored, because that was my first thought, especially they I thought would go really well on the flower ones and the butterfly one, which I have downstairs, but I will be releasing these patterns in the future. So they're the 2 kind of multicolored or rainbow ones, you could almost say. And I have actually already used them for some, but they're downstairs right now I think, but they actually turned out really nice. And I really like these colorways. They look a little bit much like this, but used and worked up, they actually work out really well I think. So I'm very happy with that result. So they're like the multicolored ones that I got from there, as in rainbow style. Then I also got where it's just kind of different yellows, a little bit of orange. I thought this one for the stars, and then there's like a purpley one, like dark purple. A little bit of a hint of blue, but it's really mostly dark purple, and I think that was meant for the butterflies. Then there's also a lighter purple, which I was thinking for the flowers as well. And then there's the green, obviously you already saw that, for the leaves. And I actually think this one is especially lovely. Just the different greens together, it works out really well. Then I have this one here. I actually thought for butterfly, because I thought to make it a bit like a monarch butterfly. And I think I already made that as well, turned out really nice. But what I then thought was to use this for the leaf design, but then they would kind of turn into flames. So I'm going to see about doing that at some point as well. And I think the last one is this kind of red one with different reds in it. Of course for the hats. Those were all the like multicolored, what are they called again? Friends cotton, the 8/4 by the way, the size. So it's the fine one. and it's the print, all these multicolored ones, so I definitely really like them. I'm glad I'm trying that. I'm just working on a bunch of coasters, even way more downstairs, which I'll show you in the future. That was everything that I did from like one order kind of recently here. Again, I think most of it with stuff it's already intended for, so roughly anyway. So another order, this was actually for when I went back to visit family at Christmas, so it's a couple of months ago, but I think most of this I've also got plans for. First of all, let's start with hooks, because one thing that actually happened on the way to go home on the plane, I brought a crochet hook of my project I was working on. My hook broke, so it just so happens it was lucky I was going home. So it just so happens it was lucky I was going home, and we were going to make an order from Hobby anyway, so I added a couple of hooks to the order, one of them obviously being the one that broke, because that's probably like my most used hook. And these are all from a certain brand, because I've actually discovered my favorite hook to use out of obviously the ones that I've tried. So thankfully I kind of discovered that fairly early on in my crochet journey, and they are the Addy swing hooks. So this is the packaging, and you can see the shape of the hook. It's got that swing style, which I'm assuming is why they have that name. Anyway, the size I got was 3.5, which is the one that broke and probably my most used hook, at least for a while. And then I got a 4mm, and then I got a 5mm. Again, the range of my most used hooks. So I have a few hooks to last me, hopefully longer than that one did. It did last a while, but even so, I didn't quite expect it to break like it did. I'm not sure if there's any in here or if I emptied them all. Actually, I think there's one I could show you. This is the 4mm. So obviously each size has its own colour. If you can see it like that. So they also have changed, because I remember in the beginning when I got these, they were more like a shiny finish. Now they're like a powdered finish. And it seems like they changed from the shiny finish to this one. So that seems to have been a transition, because they seem like they're all getting like that now. But they still work just fine, and they're still my favourite hooks, so I don't mind them. Right, these next ones might be a little bit hard to show you because there's quite a lot of loose balls. But again, it's the Friends Cotton 8/4 from Hobby, but just in quite a few different colours, and most of them are loose. So it's first of all a bunch of greys, so you can kind of see a range here. And these I have a very specific plan for. There's also purple, which that is actually in a pack because I got about 20ish or something of them. So I'll show you that just in a bit. But these are more or less, I think, all the greys. There's also black and white, I'm pretty sure. Because the plan for these, let me just show you the purple as well, are that I'm going to be making a mosaic crochet picture, basically, a wall hang, whatever you want to call it. These are the purple ones. It's kind of a bit of a medium to light purple colour. And this is going to be the background, which is why I have the most of them. So yeah, this is a, I'm going to say 20 pack, 10 pack, not 20 pack. So I'll show you the picture that I'm planning on turning into the wall hanging or picture, whatever you want to call it. And this is basically, we already have an actual picture of this on the wall in the lounge, but I've not done any mosaic crochet before, but I wanted to try and first of all make it because I've seen other people and it can get absolutely gorgeous. And I just really wanted to try and make it, and then I thought I'll make that picture because one, it's our favourite picture of our babies, obviously. There was the original picture but then turned into this kind of version of it. But yeah, these are our babies, and I wanted to try and make a crochet picture of this and maybe give it as a present to my husband, but he might find out while I'm making it, who knows. Anyway, so that is the plan with all this yarn. There's quite a bit in front of me, so obviously all the greys as well and all these purples. Like I said, this is the background, and then all the greys, whites and black is obviously going to be the babies. And so I'm going to try and basically use the website, I forget what it's called right now, to turn the picture into a grid thing to follow, to then obviously make and crochet the picture, so kind of almost pixelated, you could say. So that is the plan with all this cotton from Hobby in these colours, and I'm very excited to try that because I've just kind of been itching to start that one as well. Also because we actually have quite a few walls in the house where it's quite bare, and I feel like we could put some artwork up there. And obviously it doesn't just have to be like pictures and paintings and stuff, it can also be something like that. So that is one of my plans for the near future. Now while I was back there as well, these balls of yarn, they're not from Hobby. These are from, went to just a supermarket to do you know, regular shopping, grocery shopping, and they had a couple of balls of yarn, and I just saw these, and I've been playing a little bit around with an idea in my head for a while, and I saw them, I was like, they might just fit that idea perfectly. So my thought is to make something. I hadn't fully decided what yet at the time. I might have now, might not, who knows. Anyway, I saw these and thought they might be perfect for the idea. So the thought is to make something, like I said, I hadn't thought of what yet, with just pure white cotton, and then basically dye it after. But dye it in kind of a bit maybe like painting style, and maybe multicolored rainbows, something like that. So these are all, it's cotton, it says 12/4, so it's quite fine, which is what I was thinking, to get it nice and detailed, ideally with the stitches. Obviously if you're painting it after, technically it doesn't really matter, but anyway, that was my idea. So there's either, my thought is you can either make something already that's like a shape or image of something and then dye it / paint it, or you can just make like a big square rectangle, like totally white, and then kind of use it as a canvas. I was kind of playing around with both of those ideas. So in the meantime, I have thought, something popped in my head because I watched a tutorial on Just Vintage Crochet's channel, one that I watched a couple of times. She does at one point like a beautiful fan with white cotton, and it got me thinking, oh, making that fan say with this, but then dyeing it / painting it after, and then have that as like a wall hanging. That would be beautiful. It would also be beautiful to make it like really big, but obviously this is really fine, so there might need to be some other yarn if I want to make it big. But anyway, that was just an option I had in my head of what I maybe wanted to do with the whole make something and then dyeing / painting it after. So I got, I don't know, 8 balls of these, and they seem like, yeah, 50 grams and quite fine. So it's going to be pretty detailed stitches. So I have a bag of those waiting. Basically I just need to decide what I'm making, and then obviously I can make it and then worry about the whole dyeing / painting after. So that is my plan for that yarn. Now I also got some more of these here, and again these have a very specific intention. So it is again from Hobby. You can try and see what it looks like. Obviously these are black, so it could be a little bit difficult. So it's basically multiple thin threads, not woven together, not anything like that, basically loosely together. Try and see if that helps. A little bit sticking out there. Because in my head this is going to be my next wearable project that I'm going to make. It's going to be a top, which actually I already have something for it. Using that, that's going to be like, I guess you could say the main yarn, so black, but there's going to be like a waistband on it of this multicolored yarn. So this will go around the waist or under the boobs, and then obviously the rest of the top, so up the upper part, and then below the waistband, which I would like to be quite flowy, which is also why I was thinking this yarn, because it's quite thin and you think will give a more flowy result. So that's what this yarn is for. And actually I have a sketch of my idea already, so I'm just going to add that. I already have previous videos while going over kind of ideas for future products, wearable products that I want to make in the near future, and that's in there. I'll try and remember to link all those videos down below. But anyway, yeah, that is the waistband. It's basically just ribbing, so hopefully it should be nice and comfortable and easy to put on and off as well. Because this I basically kind of made just because I was in a state of, I discovered I had this yarn. I then thought, oh, I'll use it to make a headband, just basic ribbing. Did that, and then I really enjoyed it. It was really nice to work with. I love the colours, and I wanted to keep going, but obviously I was done with the headband, so I just kept making another ribbing, and then ended up thinking, oh, I'll make a top with this as a waistband, and that's kind of how the top came about. Anyway, so that is my plan, because I already had a couple of these, but I did feel like it's not going to be enough for the top, so I just got some more basically, hoping that what I have now will be enough. So I'm thinking this will be my next project that I want to start, which obviously I'll also be following along with video and on my Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. So that was another one. Next, there's some yarn that my mum basically got for me. She sometimes sees some yarn, thinks of me, and thinks I like it, and she sometimes gets it. And usually that means it's purple or rainbow, or both, or something like that. So she got me these, again, Hobby. So I shop there a lot. They were Black Friday ones, cotton cake. Again, it's that same type where it's like loose thread, just kind of, I was going to say woven, not woven together or not spun together, but just loosely together, but graduated from not a white, like a bit of an off-white beige in the middle, and then obviously a purple, a bit more like a lilac purple, and then out to a black. I'm guessing that's partly why it was Black Friday, because of the black or something, or it's a bit of a limited edition color or something, I'm not sure. But she got me 2 of those. I'll want to use them for something. But again, this is something she got me, so it's not something I got with an intention of making something specific. Also, some more of the Universe XL. This might have been from a previous order we did quite a long time ago, well, around Halloween. I'm not sure if it was last year or the year before. But either way, because they had the Universe XL in Halloween limited edition colors. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm just like, I need them, but also I want to get like as much as I can of them, because if I want to use them for something, you don't want to run out if you then can't get the colorway again. And they were limited edition. They might come back, but who knows. Anyway, so it's this purple one. This purple was a Halloween limited edition one, as you can see. But it's so beautiful. I love how it's quite different to the other purple. But obviously both are still purple. So I already had, like I said, some of these. I'm thinking it was from that order originally or something, but she just kept a couple of them back because we do live in different countries, so it was for like storage and shipping purposes. So I think I got them now for that reason. And the next thing is the same thing where she saw it and thought of me, I assume. So this is not something I really would ever normally be attracted to because of the type of yarn. I've never, hey honey bunny, worked with yarn like this, and part will be a little bit, I don't really know what to do with it, but it is beautiful and I do love the look of it. I just don't really know what to do with it. But it's these Cloudy Delight, again from Hobby, that are just clouds of rainbow, and they just look so fluffy and soft. Well, they are, and pretty big as well. So that was one, and then there's these. I actually think they're different colorways. I think this one is the same as this pack, but I think this one is slightly different. It's more like a true rainbow, you could say, slash a little bit on the darker side. Yeah, they are different, but both beautiful in their own way. And the only reason why I'm like, wouldn't normally be attracted to this is just because I wouldn't really know what to do with it. But honestly, since getting this, also because I really love the colors. It's like a really fine yarn, but obviously you can see it's really fluffy. Maybe I should show you the one that's actually not in a pack. It's really fluffy, but it's like curly as well, and a curly twist. Hopefully it's showing something in detail. But since getting it, I did start playing a little bit, and a idea popped in my head of making like a top of some sort. Whether it's like just a regular top or like an outer-ish wear top, hoodie type thing, I'm not sure, where maybe you make it in maybe cotton yarn, something else, whatever that, and just black, and then along the edges, maybe if it has a hood, maybe along the hood, maybe if it's not got a hood, then maybe along the collar, along the sleeves, maybe along the bottom part of the body. You just add this in. I was starting to think, like, not replace the other yarn with it, but add this to kind of add this color and texture in around the edging. That is what I started thinking a little bit. I was like, I kind of like that idea. So that might be something I'll keep at the back of my mind, and maybe want to do some of the other things that I want to do, and then think a bit further what I'd want to do with that project. But I can kind of see that, and I kind of like the idea of it. Obviously, anything with a rainbow for me. So I think we've gone through all the yarn now, if I'm not mistaken. There's still some more cord, but it's not what I would class as yarn, it's more cord. So again, this is stuff that she saw and thought of me. So it's basically some big reels of cord in mostly purple colours. Because one, they can obviously be used for things like baskets, bags, and whatever you want, but crochet wise. But also I do macrame on my jewelry channel, so it'd be really good for, say, something like wall hangs as well. So she got me 2 of these big reels, and this is what the cord looks like. So that's like a medium purple, I would say. And then there's 2 of the same, but like a darker purple. Almost a little bit blue purple, actually, I would say. but seems like the same cord. So obviously I like the look of them, and they would also be nice to mix together, the colours. And she got me 2 packs of very similar type of cord. This, so a purple one and a white one. Again, kind of the same purpose. So it looks like that. Again, just kind of regular cord. Good for bags, baskets, wall hangings, anything like that. Crochet, macrame, whatever you want. Which is actually handy as well, because I have recently been getting really into the thought of more macrame wall hangings, which I'll be doing on my jewelry channel, of course. So I already have made a Tree of Life one, and I've just basically been getting ideas for loads of other ones. So this could very well come in handy, and it's purple mostly. So yeah. Now I think that's it for all the yarn and cord. So I would say accessories is next. It's mostly crochet accessory stuff. So that would, for instance, be stuff like bag bases. So there's a couple that look like this, where it's a base, but it actually has a lip on the bottom rather than just being a flat base like I've worked with before. So that was a bit different. And then there's this netting kind of thing. Now this already has a shape that you're supposed to kind of be able to turn into a bag pretty easily, and it comes also with the handle, straps and chain. Obviously you don't have to use that netting for that specific purpose, you can cut it if you want to. There's basically a bunch more bag bases and accessories. Let me just show you a few examples. So yeah, again, this when I went shopping at my mum's house, I kind of raided her stash a little bit, because she used to make a lot of bags, but she's not really done it in a long time, and she wants to kind of downsize a lot of the things. So she told me go through and pretty much take what I wanted, so I did that. So some bases, different colours, different sizes. Now these are ones where it's pretty cool. I haven't worked with something like this before either. I know of them, but I've never tried working with it. So it's basically a zipper, but that has built-in area around it and holes around the outer edge that you can just crochet directly into if you want to. This one is a bit longer than any ones I've seen before, so I kind of feel like either obviously it'd be a really long opening, well, really long top of the bag, but the opening only is there, or I would think kind of where the zipper ends on either side, and then they would go down and become the sides of the bag. So that's an example. There's a few different ones. For instance, there's a red one as well, and the one where it's not that long, but just kind of the length of the zipper more or less. So I have been wanting to try and work with something like that for a while, just to, you know, play around a bit. There's other bag bases, some different sizes and colours. There's some more. This is some basket bases. It's quite a nice size that, like I said, we kind of started making our own, but I mean, you can never go wrong with having a few of them handy, and they're nice and neutral. There's some more of those netting thingies. There's some different straps and handles. So yeah, I've already made a couple of bags already, but I definitely want to keep making more, so all this stuff is pretty handy to have. So yeah, I took quite a bit of that from her since she's not going to use it anyway. Also got some chain from her, some like really chunky chain, which again is kind of meant to be for like bag handles, bag straps. She had quite a few different zippers, so there's just kind of basic zippers in different colours, and then there's a black one, there's a rainbow one, well, kind of rainbow. I really love how that looks. Maybe I'll just get it out. I just think it's really pretty how the colours are in this, and it's so cool that it changes colour like that, but actually also that the zipper itself is included in the colouring, not just the outer part there, the fabric. So, and it's like a long roll, so you can cut it to the length you want. So I was definitely like, ooh, I need that. And then there's like a flower print one, which I feel like I don't recall ever really seeing before, something like that. I've seen different coloured ones, but not where it's like an actual print, and again it goes fully over the zipper. Actually looks like it's kind of an invisible zip. Pretty cool. But yeah, just to have a bit of variation and option. Also, so the zipper can be a bit of a feature. It doesn't always just have to be boring and like functional, but it can actually be part of the design. So yeah, I'm not saying I'll always just use zippers in my bags, but I do prefer the idea of using zippers for, you know, safety and stuff like that. Don't want people sticking their hands in my bags. Now for crochet as well, she also had quite a few, I would say, amigurumi noses and eyes, mostly eyes. So I did grab some of those. So these are noses, for instance, is brown, pink, which I haven't ever used a nose on any of, actually that's not true, I have. but just not a lot. But I think the cute to try and use noses a bit more often. There's also different eyes, and there's like different coloured and glittery ones, and also some of them are really huge. That's going to be a big animal or whatever you're making, which I do really want to make big ones as well. So yeah, a whole bag full of eyes and noses. And the final few things I've grabbed are not crochet related, not particularly anyway. They are sewing related. So currently I don't sew, but I do plan on getting into it. I've become a little bit obsessed with the idea, and I was lucky enough to actually get a sewing machine for Christmas from my husband. And obviously you don't just need the machine, you need stuff like fabric, thread, other stuff. So I basically grabbed a few things from my mum's house, because she again had spare stuff that she didn't use or need anymore. So I grabbed some different threads. These are obviously bobbins, a couple different colours of thread. Again, because like, oh, you get the machine, and like, well, you need fabric. And so, well, then I'm set. Oh, wait a minute, you need thread, you need blah blah blah. It's like you kind of don't think about all of it. Some elastic, different threads and stuff. So at least I can just start playing around and practicing. That is kind of the whole point. So I can just get started and, you know, practice. And then she had this little pack of sewing thread, different colours. That was quite handy. So I now have some thread and some bobbins with thread as well. But actually I think I'm getting to the point where I can start playing around with it. Almost forgot almost the most important thing, some fabric. I didn't really have any of that either. But again, she had some, I want to say scraps, but not necessarily scraps, but they're kind of small pieces of fabric. But obviously when you're starting out, you're not going to make like a huge ball gown or something. Well, I don't think most people are anyway. So obviously she has some purple, so I grabbed that. I've been thinking what I was going to try and start out with was make like a little pouch makeup bag kind of thing. I've seen a few tutorials for that online on YouTube and stuff. So I kind of thought that might be a good place to start, and I was thinking fabric like this, size-wise, the pieces that there are possibly would be good enough for that, because I'm not talking about making like a whole garment or something yet. Basic black. There's some different prints. There's some Christmas ones. You can see through there. Just because why not? So I actually have fabric as well now. Not loads, but enough to start and actually play around with and, you know, get into it, practice a bit. So I should have everything, I think, to be able to start. Machine, fabric, thread. I have zippers. They don't do start to for crochet. Yeah, I think I can start thinking about trying to sew. So I think that was pretty much everything. I am currently surrounded by a big mess. Empty bags and boxes. And the desk covered in stuff. So I really need to organise that as well, get stuff put away properly. I just thought I would share this little haul, I guess, from shops, but also from my mum's house. And kind of share a bit of, guess what's going to be coming in the near future. Maybe further future, some of it, but hopefully near future. I really just want to start digging into some of it, that's for sure. And now I got this video out of the way, I feel like I can. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to follow my journey on any of this stuff, crochet, sewing, who knows what else, then feel free to subscribe to my channel. I plan on sharing different things. It'll probably mainly be crochet, but I do plan on doing other things as well. So feel free to subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all that. I really hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next one.